Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
Blackmail me with money? Go yourself.
But
Go yourself.
Woke interviewers love to push their own agendas, but Elon Musk, he refuses to play along. These are the moments where Elon Musk completely dismantles loaded questions from reporters, breaking down their narratives piece by piece. And speaking of loaded questions, wait until you hear how Elon Musk turned one into his most brilliant comeback. More on that soon. First up, it starts with the BBC interviewer questioning Elon about Twitter's hateful content regulations. Elon, fully aware of what the interviewer was trying to do, fired questions back at them to see if they even knew what they were talking about.
something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
A lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
well, then how did you see that hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying...
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
But Elon's next encounter, however, would take a much worse turn as he delves deeper into his stance. A reporter questions him about his fear of losing support due to his public opinions, and Elon's response heightens the tension.
Let's talk a bit about your tweets, because it comes up a lot. Even today, it came up in anticipation of this. I mean, you do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories.
Well, yes, but I mean, honestly, some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened. That's election interference.
Elon Musk isn't afraid to stand up for what he believes is right. Unlike the countless celebrities who bow down to the woke agenda or hide their true beliefs, Musk refuses to play that game. He's unapologetic and real, going head to head with the narratives the media tries to push.
But why share it? Why share it? Especially, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you? Why not just say, hey, I think this. You can tell me, we can talk about it over there, you can tell your friends, but why share it widely?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it puts you in the middle of the partisan divide in the country. It makes you a lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like that? People today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite, if anything.
I believe that probably is the case.
Yes.
But why would you even introduce the idea?
When the interviewer pushes Elon Musk on why he refuses to bow to cancel culture and still speaks his mind, even when it's proven to hurt his business, Elon fires back with an answer that every business owner needs to take to heart.
But I'm trying. Even came up though in the annual meeting. I mean, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care.
In the same interview, Musk gets grilled about the 2020 election and his unexpected vote for Biden. But his response, it's hilarious, sharp, and proves he's always one step ahead.
Others who will say 2020 election was rigged. Is that something, I assume that's not something you believe?
Well, I think the answer is nuanced. Do I believe Biden won? Yes, I believe he won.
And you voted for it.
I did, actually.
Do you regret that?
I mean, man, I wish we could have just a normal human being as president. That's what I want. I think if we could, there's that old saying of like, we're better off being run by people picked at random from the phone book than the faculty of Harvard.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but it was someone very wise. And I would say if we could do that for the president, that would be great.
That would be-
Elon doesn't stop there. He dives deeper, comparing the president's role to that of a CEO, and his take is nothing short of brilliant.
So
You want somebody who's competent.
yeah,
That's helpful.
Yes, I think definitely somebody's executive ability is underrated. Since the president is effectively the chief executive officer of the country, it actually matters if they're a good executive officer.
Yeah.
It's not simply a matter of do they share your beliefs, and but are they good at getting things done? There's a lot of decisions that need to be made every day. Many of them are unrelated to moral beliefs.
Right.
And you just want a good executive. Because they're CEO of America.
They are. They
so
are.
We want a good CEO of America.
Elon takes it up a notch, breaking down his perspective by drawing a sharp comparison between the president's role and that of a CEO. But things really heat up when left-wing commentator Don Lemon jumps in, trying to corner Elon with a loaded question. Does he even know what woke really means? Elon's response, pure fire.
Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean? It's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course. But trying to blame everything trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm...
Yeah, race or, gender or whatever.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and, yeah.
You think that's unfair?
But instead of caving to Don or getting stumped, Elon's response hits so hard it sends Don fuming, so much so that he desperately drags the founding of America into the mix.
You don't agree that this country was founded on racism and founded on slavery and in many ways inequities? That still continue on to this day?
I think every country at that time, and I think even today, was extremely racist. Every country. And obviously slavery was present in about half of this country. Was not present in the North. There was racism for sure.
Elon then calls out how pointless it is to obsess over history while completely ignoring the future. His message is clear: stop dwelling on the past and start focusing on what's ahead.
I think we want to look to the future rather than the past. And instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because
the tension ramps up as Elon expertly plays Don's ego. He then hits him with a controversial statement that shakes things up even more.
In fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make a part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone, according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows.
Don, in complete shock, tries to throw Elon off by bringing up his white privilege. But Elon, he responds with an answer so sharp it leaves Don speechless.
Sir, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
It was very difficult for me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Realizing he's losing control of the conversation, Don tries to spin it, falsely claiming Elon said discrimination doesn't exist. But that's a complete lie. Elon never said that.
I've been discriminated against, and I know that I have. And I know that that's real. And for someone to say that that hasn't happened and I should just move forward and not think about that and ignore the past is insulting.
I'm not saying it. Don, you keep putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying it's
I didn't say that you said it.
I'm saying that we want to. We as a country should move beyond questions of race and gender, and we should treat people like individuals and base our opinions on them on the, their character and their skills.
I don't think that anyone will disagree with that.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is that that's not happening and is not equal for everyone. That those opportunities don't happen for everyone. And I am a living example that they don't. I know that they don't because I live it.
You've been incredibly successful.
I have been,
and
in spite of it all. But
what comes next is even more personal for Elon. In a powerful conversation with Jordan Peterson, Elon tackles a deeply controversial issue: children being brainwashed into believing they're a different gender.
The reality is that almost every child goes through some kind of identity crisis.
It's part of puberty.
Exactly. It's just part of growing up. It's very possible for adults to manipulate children who are having a natural identity crisis into believing that they are the wrong gender.
Yep.
Then, when Jordan Peterson digs into why Elon is so committed to fighting wokeness, Elon unveils a deeply personal reason that no one saw coming.
Why are you willing to make this an issue, do you think?
Well,
it's sort of like the
happened to one of my
issue.
it happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he
That was a lie.
Elon opens up about his son and puberty blockers, but he doesn't stop there. He digs even deeper into the topic.
It wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead.
He ends with a powerful statement that shows just how personal this topic is for him. Elon makes it clear he's on a mission to crush the woke virus, and his game plan includes big moves like buying Twitter to defend free speech and much more.
So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like. Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that, and we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
And remember when we teased that Elon Musk turned one into his most brilliant comeback? Well, here it is. In this interview, Elon is questioned by a reporter about the risks he takes when sharing his views, as many advertising companies might be more inclined to boycott him, but Elon delivers an amazing answer.
But there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
But
Go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
And yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God, she is so stupid.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing.